Genshin go baby, what's good guys? Yoku here, and if I'm talking pretty low, it's because it's actually 1 a.m. and I should be asleep, but I drink a lot of juvie. Anyhow, thank you guys for all the love and support in the previous video regarding the 5-star tier list. I was not expecting that, but now that it's here, I love you. Platonically, of course. I don't want anyone forming weird parasocial relationships. YouTubers get in trouble for that. Now, number 2, previously, about a month ago or so, and then going forward, I released 2 different videos. One being the pity system in Honkai and how it might be a problem. And then the second one being how the 5 stars, or rather why the 5 stars were going to be so important in Honkai Star Rail. Both of those videos kind of go 1 and 1 together, or 1 and 2 together. But in regards to what I'm talking about today in this video, I really want to go over the fact that now that we have more information on the full release date, the full information on what's coming, and the entirety of that patch, right? So all of patch 1, we know that we're getting up to 80 pulls guaranteed from Star Rail. I want to do my best to explain why that's great, but also kind of worrisome and maybe still a big problem, but let's talk about it. So as of right now and what's been stated, we know that 80 pulls are the guarantee, right? So Star Rail or Mihoyo has come out and they've said, hey, in Star Rail patch 1, pretty much going to be Zila's banner and Jing Yuan's banner, you will have the chance or the opportunity to get 80 pulls, these pulls being what you would use for the limited characters, right? The limited banners, those limited banners being Zila and Jing Yuan. I got a comment over the weekend. I was gone to a Pokemon Regionals, my bad, I couldn't respond to it, but now that I am, the comment was basically asking, as a free-to-play player, do you think that it's possible for someone who's already played in the beta, and based off of what they've told us so far during their announcement over Friday, is it possible for a free-to-play player to get both Zila and Jing Yuan by hard playing the game? And the very abrupt, saddening answer is no. Unless you're insanely lucky, you are not able to get either of these characters. And when I say insanely lucky, I don't mean like win the 50-50. I mean, you would have to get Zila very early on, like 20 pulls minimum, and then you would have to get Jing Yuan within those next 60 pulls by hitting the 50-50, if anything. But if you don't, you're boned. Also, and this kind of goes into what I was saying in the previous video about the Star Rail having a pity problem, is that it's a really high pity. The pity isn't 80. I want to throw that out there. The actual pity in the game is 90. The hard pity is 90. I know that we always do like, oh man, well, we never really actually get to 90, right? So we really say that 80 is the pity or 70 is the pity, when those aren't the case at all. I think somewhere between 70 to 80 is the soft pity. So you're kind of guaranteed something within 70 and 80, but 90 is the hard pity. I've never personally gone to 90, but I have gone to 88. I want to throw that out there. I have gone to 88. During the beta, I was not able to get Zila and I lost the 50-50. I was not able to get more premium currency beyond that point. I'm sure that there were different ways to get more premium currency, i.e. running through the simulated universe, doing the Forgotten Hall, doing more of the side quests, things like that. All of that stuff was valid, but it is insanely time consuming for somebody that was working full time while also making content and spending time away from the desk. So there are things that you of course want to use to your own advantage or disadvantage when looking at this argument. Take everything that I say with a grain of salt. Take the information that you find out on your own with a grain of salt until it is hard confirmed. Mihoyo is not going to come out and say like, yeah, no, you don't have a chance at pulling 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They're going to of course fluff things up. Why do I keep saying of course? They're going to fluff these things up so that you are encouraged, right? You're more encouraged to pull or spin or whatever the case may be. But realistically speaking, you need to go into this game day 1, negative day 1, whatever the case may be, with the mindset of what it is that you're pulling for, what team you want to run, and then go for it, especially if you're free to play. Now, if you're spending money, none of this stuff really applies. Just spend money wisely, be smart about your pulls. But if you're not and you're free to play and you're really shooting for, let's say, a Zila team, well, now you have to make a decision. You're not going to get Zila and Jing Yuan. You don't need Zila's light cone, but for the sake of this argument, I'm going to talk about something in this video that I'll mention in a future video, possibly later this week. The thing that I'm going to talk about is basically saying why this game won't be as, how do I put it, lenient as Genshin Impact is, right? So Genshin Impact, there's an assortment of different weapons that we can give our characters. In this game, light cones are static to these character archetypes or their roles, their classes, their trees, whatever you want to call it. The abundance, the nihility, the destruction path, preservation path, the hunt path, so on and so forth. Anyone can use a light cone, but in order to take advantage of the light cone's effects, right, the two bonus things, whatever they do, it needs to be a character matching with the path that light cone is on. So that already limits what you're going to be doing or what you're going to be able to use with these characters. Now you need to get into, does this light cone actually benefit this character? For example, I'll use Jing Yuan as an example here. Jing Yuan's light cone, signature light cone, is very strong, absolutely borked out of his mind. Jing Yuan players want his light cone. Like it is not a must pull, but the difference between Jing Yuan with his light cone and then without his light cone is significantly large. Like it's a huge difference. And the free-to-play light cone does not compare at all. On the flip side, someone like Zila's signature light cone and then her free-to-play light cone, that you can make or break that, right? Like they're very close when it comes to the damage output, what she does, what she wants to do, and you can get away with not having Zila's light cone. But what I want to bring up and what I'm going into at that point is that light cones will be just as important as characters. You can probably circumvent some things, right? Like, oh, I'm gonna get E2 for this character versus getting the light cone, and that just comes down to what the character offers versus what that light cone offers. You know, some Eidolons might just give you the boost that the light cone would give you, but otherwise you're gonna run into a problem where you're gonna want these light cones, you're gonna want to prep these teams, you're gonna want to start farming for the free light cones that we have available in the game, giving other characters like your 4 stars, if you have them, their own light cones, getting signatures for them, getting relics. There's a lot that goes into team building in this game from what I've played during the entirety of the beta, and then even looking forward beyond that point. So right now, when we're going into this game and we're talking about, hey, well, we have a maximum opportunity to get 80 pulls max, right? We have the opportunity to get 80 pulls max of limited premium currency for whatever character we're shooting for. That's not a hard pity. That's not guaranteed character, right? We know that if you miss the 50-50, guess what? You need another 90 pulls at least. If you just get shafted and you can't get anything from the 80 and you happen to get something on the 81, but you don't have enough gems for it, well, the banners are gone. Be mindful that this is not, this isn't, it's not a horrible thing. I think maybe that's where I don't want to go with the video. Mind you, it's still 1 a.m. The 80 pulls is great. It's not horrible. I think it's pretty common. I think Genshin also does like 70-ish pulls or something like that per patch, which, you know, that's exhausting all your resources. You have to play the game, run through whatever, do Spiral Abyss, all that kind of stuff. Sorrow is probably going to be the same way. But because characters are so important, a lot of free-to-play players will be stuck with the free-to-play units. Natasha, March 7th, the MC, the Ching Chi girl, and whoever else is in the game that's going to be free, Don Hung. But when you do get these other characters or you do pull these banners, take into account what is on that banner. I don't remember specifically what's on each banner, but for the most part, just run it through, right? Just talk with whatever's going on, look at whatever's going on, study whatever's going on, and then build your team around that. If you start pulling 17 different March 7ths and you just know that you're not going to use March 7th, then it's kind of a waste for you to pull on that banner or even to get those characters. But the moral of the story is that yes, 80 pulls is great. It sounds like a lot. It's awesome. You are not hitting guaranteed 5-star limited character off of just 80 pulls. Maybe if we include the monthly pass and some other stuff, but at that point you're spending money. So just be mindful of that. When you pull, if you get lucky, awesome. Keep going, save the gems, build it up, make that awesome team, do what you got to do. If you don't get lucky, or if you happen to know that you have bad luck, maybe save and skip on certain characters so that you're able to prepare and guarantee the character. I have a feeling that Starla is going to have a very close kind of Tower of Fantasy issue where you need to skip 2 or 3 patches to guarantee this limited character, and if you get it early, awesome. If not, then you know you've already saved for it. But the characters make such an important factor, and you want to hear me talking more about why I think the 5 stars or just characters in general will be so important, you can check that video out here. Anyway, let me know your thoughts and opinions in the comments down below. I can't say my usual outro because it's inappropriate for YouTube. I'm going to bed.